Hi, today I'm going to teach you a very quick astrological method to check the character and kind of not only the character but how the life of a person is going to be generally like. And you can use it for your children so you know how to educate them better and to understand them better. You can use it about your loved ones to understand what is within themselves more, and you can use it on yourself. So what you have to do, and this is a very easy method. You don't even need the time of your birth to do this. All you need to know is what signs your planets are situated in. And in order for you to find out that, go to my website, astrology.com, go to my website and go to the birth chart calculator and enter your information there. Even if you don't know the time of birth, don't worry, we don't need that because we're not going to use the ascendant. We're going to use only the positions of the 7 traditional visible planets. I don't want you, even if you know astrology, your charts, I don't want you to use Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto planets outside the visibility. I want you to use the 7 visible planets only. I want you to check the positions of the Sun, the Moon, Venus, Mercury, uh, Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter. And you see them under the table. You see them under your chart. I have them on the table. You just pay attention to those 7 planets in what signs they are. And I want you to check if you have 3 or more planets in the following categories. There are 3 types of sign categories. And the first one I'm going to talk about is if you have 3 or more planets in Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn. These are the so-called changeable, movable signs. In Western astrology, they call them cardinal signs, changeable, movable, because if you have 3 or more planets in those signs, usually anything, if you have above 4, that's when you really see it in the personality of a in the personality and the life of a person. It really stands out then. If you have only 3, it's not so visible because then the other planets will be in other type of modality of signs which will kind of balance the whole situation. But anything above 4 or more, 4 planets or more in, say, in those first 4 signs, for instance, you will be someone that the ancient books said that his life or her life will be full of changes. And I can guarantee you that because I have 6 planets. I have almost all of my planets in such changeable signs, in cardinal signs, as we call them. And when this happens is that often these people, even when they're in their 50s, they might be starting anew, they haven't settled yet, or they've changed 20 places of living within 10 years, like I've done, for instance, or they change constantly jobs and even relationships. And often when clients come to me with this position, they're in their 50s sometimes, and they feel so desperate because they say, like, I haven't achieved anything, or I'm starting anew, a brand new beginning, society, and because society is really hard on such people, they kind of consider it as if they're failures. But don't worry, you're supposed to be like that. We're supposed to be like that. We need constant change in our life because we're born in this life to be instigators of change, and often this reflects in our own life as well. So as I said, we often change places of residence, we change relationships more easily, we kind of always like radical change, and you don't feel happy if you were stuck in a long for many years in the same position without any change. It will drive you mad, and I can guarantee from me, I've changed 10 jobs in 3 years, not to mention, well, altogether in my 10 years in England, I've changed probably 20 jobs. And for many years, such people with so many planets in movable signs, 4 or more, for instance, even, they others might find them not as losers, but as people who are not stable, who are not grounded, who haven't achieved much in life because they have big gaps of time when they're kind of wandering and changing and trying different things. And but if you have certain other combinations in your chart which are combinations for success, then you will have sooner or later a breakthrough, because people with so many cardinal planets and cardinal signs, they're constantly full of ideas, they're constantly full of new inspirations, what to do, and they always initiate new actions. They always try something new, even if it's to the extent of trying new relationships, trying new places of living, trying new jobs. But sooner or later something has to work out. When is the right time. But usually before they find this, they kind of have long periods of jumping from one source, from one place to another, without being very settled. And But if they make it, when these people make it big, they make it. They become the pioneers of their field, of chosen field, because they bring innovations and something radically new and different in their field of work that they're doing. Like, well, I can give you myself as an example. I wanted to introduce into astrology not only the sun signs, but the moon signs and the ascendant signs and other techniques. And that's why I'm having great success. So basically, after 15 years of being a bit of a lost person, changing all the time, changing my life every 1 year, changing direction, changing two places of living, changing two jobs or something. Then one day you have a breakthrough and you become a pioneer, and hopefully a lot of you with so many planets in cardinal signs will have it. If you have a few other combinations as well, which depends on a professional horoscope, professional astrologer has to take a look into that. So don't beat up yourself if you have a lot of new starts in life. People with four or more planets in cardinal signs, in Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn. And often you have quite a few new starts from scratch in life. And such people, if you have especially children with many cardinal planets, I would advise you take them to a school where they can learn a new language, because these people are happier and achieve more far away from home in a different country. So these people also tend to travel more, and they'll have more success abroad, like myself, not in the places of their birth, and they can quickly adapt to new places, and they need constant change and traveling. I'm constantly traveling every month. I'm shooting from some other country or location. Otherwise, I will feel unhappy if I'm stuck too long in one place. These people need, even in their jobs, if they want to be happy in their jobs, they need to find jobs where they're the idea people rather than those that are following orders and trying to, they're not people who will maintain the status quo. They're not people who can do too long jobs which are the same, which there is no variety in them. They need a job. If you have children like that, orient them towards jobs where they give ideas, like idea people, like, I don't know, advertisement or something, where there is a lot of traveling and a lot of stimulation, a lot of moving to and fro. These people need stimulation. Otherwise, they tend to change jobs a lot, and that's painful for them. But anyway, that's the more difficult ones. These people can be really very high pioneers, so kind of a I don't know, travelers. No, not gypsies, but just changing a lot in their life, or feeling uncertain, here and there, trying a lot. And often they can feel resentment sometimes, such people, because they often, because they're full of ideas and very brilliant, often more than other people, and they're very magnetic. You'll notice people with many cardinal signs, you're excitable, they're movable, everything is changing around them all the time. The exciting personalities, there are sparks around them. Even you see me, I cannot stand still for a long time. Even my gestures are full of a lot of people keep saying, stop touching your hair, stop being so, moving here and there. But I can't. That's in my nature. I'm full of movable planets, all those changeable planets, and constant change and moving. And even though those people are quite magnetic, yeah, as I said, uh, well, I lost my thought here, you see. My mind is moving so fast. But yes, uh, yes, so these are the movable people. It's advisable that they live abroad. They change often. Their life circumstances change. Often they can be sometimes resentful towards others because they're full of ideas and brilliant ideas and things. But because they cannot fulfill these, they cannot put them into fruition, so to speak. They're not so patient enough to carry those plans through, to stick up with those plans. They kind of start and get envious to other people who are more consistent and who, for instance, are not as brilliant or sparkly as they are, but who takes a very mediocre idea and stick with it for 10 years and develop it and have success with it. Well, these people, they'll start with a brilliant idea, but they would not stick with it throughout the end, and they kind of tend sometimes even to get resentful to others who make it, others with less capacity and abilities. And these people also, they find it a bit more difficult in life because they always try and bring in radical new things into it, whether it's their chosen fields or their mode of operation in their life, and often they find resistance because people don't like change generally around them, you know. And when these people try and bring change, try and like so many people are angry with me. What is this ascendant signs? You know, they write to me angry letters. I'm a Leo. My sun sign is Leo. There is nothing else. You know, they often people who try and make big changes or to make pioneering or new, you know, to radically change something, they meet a lot of resistance. And if they don't have the staying power or certain combinations in their chart for success, they tend to leave it and kind of get very upset, you know. But if you have the other combinations, they'll become pioneers, as I said, and very prominent in their chosen field. And now is the second type of people who have their planets in fixed signs, which is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. If you have 4 or more planets, usually 3 or more, but 4 or more, that's when you really feel it. And these are people who the ancient books, they gave the best, you know, rating for. They said that those people, they're the pillars of society. Those are the people who maintain the status quo, who are reliable and very security conscious. If you want great people to hire for your company, hire people with more fixed signs, you know, with planets in more fixed signs, because they will stick to the job. They will not change their mind. When they start something, they will finish it. They carry it through. They're like really dogged. When they start something, they're like a steam train. You can't stop them till they finish. You know, they just focused and they'll go through it. They'll continue with whatever they're doing. Even sometimes to the bitter end, even if it's to their own detriment, they can stick in relationships that are unhealthy for them. They can give much more chances to an unhealthy situation and be stuck in an unpleasant or unhealthy or unconstructive situation or a job for much longer. But if you're an employer and you want someone to, you know, carry through with everything they say and be more, how do I say, meticulous and keep up with their responsibilities and stay with you for many years, someone loyal you can rely on, then go for people in this with signs in with planets in fixed signs. And usually these people have much more success in life because they would not go into something that is too pioneering or something very original, or they'll not create new ideas or something really progressive or, you know, exciting and interesting. They'll go for much more tested areas of life or tested fields of life or work or, you know, or more traditional, even as a marriage or whatever it is. But they will stick with it. They'll stick with that job. They'll be persistent. They'll be there. They'll be reliable. They'll stick with it for 10, 15 years. And sooner or later, they will gain those positions, because even though you have someone really brilliant who has maybe many planets in cardinal signs, and you have another person in the company who you've known for 15 years, often people would prefer the person you've known for 15 years, that's worked for you, that's proven themselves, that he's loyal, that you'll choose them. And these people get high positions in society due to their perseverance. Not like the previous signs, people with many cardinal planets, planets in cardinal signs, they get achievements due to their brilliance and many ideas and something radical, new and change that they can bring to their chosen field, pioneering. Well, these people get it because they're very hardworking, they're consistent, they're always there. They're like, you know, like the sun is rising and coming, setting down. That's how you can rely on them. But if you have such children, make sure you teach them from very young good habits, because it's very easy for such children it's very hard for such children to change their habits. So if you teach them good habits from young, they'll stick with them till they're old, you know, till they die. If these people learn to smoke and drink, they find it harder to quit it than others. You know, it might take them longer time. They'll stick with those bad habits. But once they get out of a situation, once they finally make up their mind, usually takes them much longer, say in a bad relationship, bad marriage, bad job. They've been probably trying to make it better much longer than other people would even dream of, you know. But once they decide to quit it, they quit it. They can quit it cold turkey and they will not look back at you, however much they're hurting, because these people, they don't like change. But if they decide and make the change, well, believe me, there is no stopping them. When a steam train changes its direction, you cannot get him back into the same direction. It's very hard to change the direction, but once you do, but once they do, they're, you know, if someone breaks up with you who has 4 or 5 planets or 6 planets in fixed signs, well, this person is not coming back, you know. Or if he wants to dedicate his life to you, to marry, if he's made up his mind, then he will stick with you till the bitter end, you know. But if he decides to leave you, that's it. So these people, when they go for something, they go for it properly, you know. But again, as I said, they have more successes in life because of that. When they have more changes in life, for instance, if they go and live abroad, they'll feel more nostalgic, a bit more sad. So they need more familiar environment. Even you'll notice babies that have more planets and fixed signs, they start feeling unhappy and crying if the environment changes. If you take them to visit guests or something, you know, they kind of feel they don't feel so restful, you know. They need proper routines. These people, they have routines every day, doing the same things. They stick to as I said, these are the pillars of society, the salt of the earth, the people that keep the status quo and the world running around, you know, as it is, basically. They maintain things and they carry these things through. And then is the third type of people, which I find the most balanced, those who have 3, 4 or more planets in the so-called dual signs. And these are Pisces, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Virgo. And they're a mixture of the other two types that we talk. So if things are not going well, for instance, they will not go fully changing the situation like the cardinal signs, the movable signs will do. They will not like fully leave the person or quit the job and start brand new. But they will try and improve on it. But they will not get stuck in that situation as well without not doing anything like the fixed signs. The fixed signs will just carry on doing the same things over and over and hoping for different results, you know. But no, these people, they are improvers. They will improve on the situation, on the situation, on the position, whatever it's happening in their life, they will try and improve. And because they're very skillful people, they're very knowledgeable as well, this kind of people. They have great talents for skills, for knowledge. They're very great. Others can really benefit from these people as well. Because they're if your company is not running well, these people are there. They will come, for instance, without. If you don't want your company to be radically changed, but you want to be improved, you get those type of people, you know. And as I said, the most important word for people with dual signs mostly is improvement. And their life tends to improve more and more. Actually, people with planets in those signs, the older they get, the better their lives becomes, you know. And the ancient books say that people don't have very strong bodies with too many dual signs. I haven't noticed that. You tell me if your bodies are not so strong or not so well developed, they say. But I've noticed that these people are the most balanced and harmonious, more balanced and harmonious within themselves, and they improve more and more, and they don't get stuck in unhealthy situations for too long, or they don't go changing their life constantly, but they're very adaptable to a healthy extent. You know, when something is not going well, they will not radically change it. They will try and improve it, and after that, if it's not working, they will let it go and try again. So much more balance here, you know, not the two extremes. And as I said, these people become great experts, advice givers, great, very skillful, very intelligent people generally. Especially if you see that they have 4 or 5 or more planets inside. These are people of the mind who are just so brilliant, and they're very practical people. These are the most practical people, very efficient, practical, and their mind works very fast, and they improvement of each situation. So you see, it's very interesting types everyone has. Let me know what you think. Let me know what type you are, and whether you think this works for you. How did you feel when you listened to those descriptions? Did you identify with this? And I hope you learned something new. Thank you very much.